Thank you for tuning in to yet another exciting episode of I'm Here For It, the podcast. We like to begin our shows with a thought for the day. Remember, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. With that being said, I'm your co host, Tori.
And I'm your girl, Trina. We appreciate your viewership. When you have thousands of podcasting options, you chose us. And guess what? We choose
We
you.
choose you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm sure you guys noticed that our set looks different today. So let me introduce our guest. We've spoken very highly of her on our previous episodes. She's been our childhood friend for over 30 years. She's a child of God, a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a aunt, a friend, and a business professional with a love for health and fitness. She turned this passion into a new business venture so new business venture. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the owner and CEO of Stretch Your Soul, Yogi Danae. Hey
Yeah.
friend, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Bridget.
Hey, friends. Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be here, and I am here for it.
Yes, we are
Yes,
glad.
yes, yes. So happy to have you today, Danae. We appreciate you for spending some time with us.
Yes, and being our second guest on the show, we are excited about what you are going to teach us today. But before we
Yes,
get
and share.
get to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tree.
Oh no, I was going to say and share with our viewers. That's going to be
Okay.
awesome. So I know that they're going to be able to learn something from you.
Thank,
Absolutely, absolutely.
thanks
But before
again.
we get, yes, but before we get to Danae, Trina, what do you have with come and talk to T for the day?
Oh, yes, let's get started. You guys, this is going to be hilarious. I know you're not going to believe me, but I got proof and receipts. I know that I was going to need them because who would have even thought that pillow fighting would be considered a competitive sport? Let's talk about it. Listen,
Pillow
guys,
fighting?
this pillow fighting, okay? Like I'm talking about the pillow fighting that we used to do back in the day at our slumber parties. Pillow fighting.
Wow.
This threw me into something when I actually saw it on ESPN. I hollered in disbelief, like, wait, what? It was a legitimate fight, you guys. They had a ring announcer, judges, as well as fighters. So let me back up and give y'all a little history on the whole pillow fighting league and how it became a thing. It's the brainchild of CEO Steve Williams and his brother Paul. Like potato chips and silly putty, this invention came about by accident. The Williams brothers were actually working on a traveling combat sport concept called Fight Truck that involved a transportable mixed martial arts ring that could, upon arrival to any town, unfold in a matter of minutes, kind of like a transformer. They believed so much in this idea and invention, you guys, they patented and everything. So they were ready to go until they ran into an issue. Uh, the fact was that MMA was still banned in some states, and sanctioning it in other states could prove to be quite costly. So the brothers kind of tweaked the model, and opposed to doing the fight truck, they switched it over to pillow fighting. Steve was actually a former MMA fighter. Him and his brother joked about it, but when they realized that this pivot could potentially be lucrative, they said, hey, let's go with it. Let's see what we can do. They figured that sponsors would be easier to woo and keep in a G rated sport that did not ordinarily involve bloodshed. So, the PFL is a professional sport, and athletes are actually paid to compete. Did y'all hear me? They are paid to pillow fight.
That's insane.
the that is crazy. The first rule in pillow
Unbelievable.
fighting, can you believe that? Pillow fighting is there are actually rules. So this is basically how it goes, guys. Fighters compete in 3 90-second rounds. They receive 1 point for any shot to the head, 2 points for a head strike off of a 360 spin, and 3 points for any knockdown, which would be defined as a when a fighter places a knee or a hand on the mat or goes down completely. Now, a knockout is actually rare in pillow fighting, but it's not impossible. TKOs are usually result from a fighter being unwilling to continue, or they lack conditioning, or they just say, "Hey, I'm out. I'm done with getting hit with this pillow for today." That would be considered a TKO. Think what you
Wow.
will, but swinging pillows is flat out exhausting for most people who do not actively train, which I could imagine like any other sport or exercise or whatever. If you're not doing it frequently, you're going to be winded, you're going to be tired, and you'll probably quit. But like I said, you guys, I had to bring videos because I didn't think that anybody would believe me. So let me just share with you guys what I found. This is incredible. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. Is everything clear
Mm,
on your end?
we can see it.
Awesome. So here are some rules for the Pillow Fighting Championship. The first stage is 6 fights, which would uh, be in 90-second rounds. The second stage is only 3 fights, which would be two 1.5 minute rounds. The women's championship would be three 1.5 minute rounds. But you guys see that? The winner receives $5,000. Same thing on the male side. So let me share some video with you guys. That's just something of a ring announcer just to show you. But look at this. This is them in action. They are bam, don't let him hit you with that 360. That's 3 points, baby.
Uh-uh.
He's trying to take his head off. Look at this. Real
Unbelievable.
action. No, look at all the sponsors on the mat. They got Manscaped. They got Dr. Pepper. They are getting money for pillow fighting. Okay, and here we go.
I,
We got our winner. Our winner is going to be our man in the orange. And guess what he's walking away with? A $5,000 bag for
$5,000.
being in the ring for what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 90 seconds each. And he's getting that money. So, ladies, if this existed back in our day, we would be
We
rich
would have
because
been
we
winning.
didn't ran into a pillow fighter too at the slumber party, okay? We didn't ran
Too
into
many of them. Shoot.
Our
Oh
pillow
my
our
God.
pillow fights always turned into real fights.
Real fights. Remember? Oh, they did. Woo, some real
Danae,
fights.
with your good elephant memory, do you have any pillow fights that you
Yeah.
can remember that turned into a scrap?
Tia, remember
Yeah,
when
I
that Tia
do.
and Tyra?
Or
I
Tia and
think.
Tyra, Tia and Muffy, but they was both Muffies. Yolanda Duckworth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
See?
Tia said, "I'm
Yeah.
going to get my dog."
Yep. That is, oh my God. That
Yep.
is right. That is right.
Yeah, because
See?
Becky stayed right behind you. Becky and her daddy stayed right behind you, Tori.
Yeah,
They
that's
Hmm.
did.
right.
She was going
They
to
sure
get
Hmm.
that
did.
black dog. I can't remember the dog
Or,
name, but I remember the dog
yeah.
was black.
But we did not want her to go get that dog either. Mm-mm. See, that is
Oh my
hilarious,
goodness.
Danae. Your memory is so good.
Hey, anything we need to remember, hit her up. She gonna know. She gonna remember something about it.
uh, yeah,
Exactly.
a little bit. If not everything, a little bit, and then I'll make the rest
Oh,
up.
you sounding like your husband now.
Or like her daddy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Sounding
For
like
real, for
him.
real.
That is so true.
Yes, yes. But ladies, I just had to make sure that I shared that with somebody because I was literally in the hotel room like, there is absolutely no reason why anybody in these days in 2024 should be broke. You can video game for money, you can pillow fight for money, baby. You can Uber Eats, you can do a whole bunch of stuff to get you some money. So everybody, do your research. You might want to make a little bread off a pillow fight.
Right. Shoot. I'm thinking I might sign up.
I'm a pass on that.
Too many flashbacks, Danae. Too many
Hmm.
flashbacks.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's all I have today in the Uncommon Talk to Tea. Until next time, everybody, stay in the know. Tori, what you got? for us in the listener letter? We got anything interesting in the inbox today?
Yes. Before I start with our portion called Behind the Makeup, I just want to let you guys know, as usual, we are not therapists, we're not doctors. We are just women who are giving our opinion. And with that being said, this one, ladies, is a little touchy. So, but I'm gonna try my best to help her. And it goes like this. Dear IH4I ladies, after 8 years of marriage, my husband recently dropped a bombshell. He wants to continue seeing his sugar baby while staying married to me. As a part of this arrangement, he offered to pay for my boob job and clear my debt. He also suggested taking our shared funds and giving her $1,000 per month. If I didn't agree, he threatened divorce, promising to give me half. Feeling pressured and not wanting to be alone, I reluctantly accepted his terms, but now I can't help wonder if I made a grave mistake. Should I take half and move on? Ladies, do you have any advice for me? Normally, I would go first in a situation like this, but ladies, do you want to go first and I'll go last? Because I really had some time to think about it. Yeah, I know you're looking
Okay.
baffled.
Okay, so wait. So wait. So she said that her husband came to her and said that he wants to continue seeing his
Mm-hmm.
sugar baby. So if he's saying continue, that leads me to believe that she was already aware of this whole side situation. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But he gave her the ultimatum. I'll pay for your debt and your boob job, or divorce and take half. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot for me to absorb, because if she already knew about this situation, oh, and they're gonna take some of their joint funds and give her 1,000 a month. So joint
Yeah,
funds to me would mean that the wife and the husband contributed into this account that we finna get a sugar baby. So I'm paying the sugar baby too, is what you're saying to me, right?
sounds like
So,
it.
couple things. If you were under the impression that this man already had a sugar baby, you already knew the game. So you were already on board with it in some way. I mean, I don't know if you were aware of him providing her an allowance, but if she was already there, she's younger. I mean, 1+1 = 2. Usually when a younger woman has an older man, that's because he's providing financially, emotionally, whatever kind of way. We just talked about this on last episode. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I would say do what works for you. But I would have to say I'm out. I'm gonna just go ahead and take my half and pay for my own damn boob job and clear my own damn debt and take care of me. But I'm not going to willingly share my husband or financially contribute to nobody after I done got up and worked every dang on day. And now you talk about I'm gonna give her my money and my man. See, I'm about to get where my pillow. I'm about to get to swinging
Right.
360 motion up in here, because something is not right. Now, again, if you were already on board with this sugar baby, then hey, you kind of signed up for the situation that you're in. But um and if that's the case, hey, I'm not knocking it. Do what works for you. You know, different strokes for different folks. But me personally, I cannot willingly allow my man to cheat on me and financially contribute to none of the female, unless it's your mama. Okay, we buying mama a purse for her birthday and putting some money in it. Go on, mama, happy birthday. But the sugar baby, I ain't sign up for that. I ain't agreeing to that. Me personally, I take my half, go and pay for my own boob job, clear my own debt, and keep it pushing. That's just me.
Well, and I was taking it as he said he recently dropped a bombshell on her by saying, "Hey, maybe he just came out and said I'm seeing this other woman,
Okay.
and I want to
Okay.
keep
I
her."
didn't. I didn't hear
That's how
that.
I
I,
that's
I
how I took it, but
Okay, yeah.
still, it
So
still
I
all
didn't hear that
applies.
part. So yeah, I think it threw me off when you said we finna give her some money that we both been making. I kind of got blurry eyed, ears couldn't hear none of that after that point. Cause what? No, ma'am.
Yeah. Danae, what do you have to say?
I am totally against that. There's no way, like Trina said, that I would be willing to stay married, share my money and my man with the sugar baby. But for her, it's her life, it's her choice.
Absolutely.
And usually, as women, we always do what we want to do, no matter what another person says.
Yep.
So,
So,
knowing
so
you ladies
basically,
like,
do what works for her, Danae, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, knowing you ladies like I do, I I knew you guys would say, take the money and run. Most people would say it's a lot more fish in the sea, but I'm gonna say this: the pond out there is dirty, it's slimy because see, you guys are still married. I am not. I have been out here on this side, and this woman hasn't been out here in 8 years, and I have heard a lot of stories. We even heard a lot of stories from Tia. So before you get out here in this slimy pond, I will say it might be a few good fish left in the pond, but that pond is a little slimy and grimy right now. So the thing that I thought that she should do, because a lot of times we move too fast. So I just want to get to the bottom of some things, and I think you need to get to the bottom of some things too. And
Okay.
just find out, why does your husband feel the need to have a sugar baby? What's broke down in the marriage at this point? So I'm saying maybe try to take a step back. I would say in this instance, seek some counseling before you leave, because ladies, when you do get out here, sometimes you can find a good person out here, but it will take a while. And then I have seen a lot of women that have been in situations with where men are cheating on them, and even celebrities. Beyonce's been cheated on. Some people stay, some people leave. So a lot of times you can be cheated on. This situation does sound crazy to where he's wanting to pay the woman an allowance out of our money, but men do it all the time. But a lot of times they are sneaking. So to me, he's talking about giving her half, and I'm just going to tell you how I think. Most of the time, you can't get half of the money. She only been in it for 8 years. I think you need to be in it 10 years before you can get your half. Okay. So he's willing to clear off all her debt and stuff like that. But I'm just going to play devil advocate here. I will get some counseling for myself, even if he doesn't want to get the counseling, and give me a game plan together before I decide that I am going to leave. I will try to make myself whole. I don't know what happened in this marriage, to make your situation be what it is, but divorce can be messy. It can be expensive. Don't just jump out here without a plan. But I would say seek counseling, seek God, seek meditation. And first of all, if he can have a sugar baby, it sounds like y'all have an open relationship in the meantime. So if that's the game you want to play, can I get out here and start dating too? You know what I mean? But I wouldn't
But while
just
you're
leave.
married to him, but
But
while you're
hey,
married to him,
he
you're
doing
saying?
it. He's doing it to her. It's just a different day and age. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
but to me, you ain't gonna get to be able to spend my money and have a sugar baby and do all this. It's like, are you saying that I can do this too? But I wouldn't just leave, because remember, just last week with wisdom, he left his wife for the younger woman, and come to find, how long did that work? You know what I mean? It's like he left her for
Mm-hmm.
the little car wash chick, and she only screwing him for a little while. And the thing is, you're gonna leave your marriage that you have built, and you're supposed to stay with them till death do you part. While they go through, it could be a midlife crisis. I don't know, but you're gonna leave your person of all these years. 9 times out of 10, the sugar baby might not even last. And then what? I'm just saying that maybe see what the problem is, because a lot of times things could be temporary and not permanent. And I know a lot of people who've been cheated on, and nowadays they have great marriages. The difference in this situation, he is telling her. It's just like, so maybe they see if you can communicate about it. Is there anything that you can do to fix your marriage if you want to? I mean, but just whatever you do, be smart about it. Make sure you are built up, you are financially secure before you get out here and put yourself in an even worse situation with a dating pool. Because I know a lot of women who have given up their marriages and gotten into even worse situations. But if you are good and you can get out here and you've done everything, then I say leave, take the money and run. But just give it some thought first before you get out here. But that's what I
Mm.
have to say about it. And I'm sure.
He basically told her I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too. And you gonna
Hmm.
sit here and watch me chew on it. No, sir, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not sitting
Well,
there around and
I
watching you
I
have anything,
probably.
especially if I didn't agree to it. Now, like you said, there are some people with open marriages. So they come into the situation together. The husband doesn't get
Hmm.
a sugar baby and then come back to the wife and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I've been with little Kiki over here for the past 6 months and Kiki ain't going nowhere. We finna get, and we giving her $1,000 a month out our account.
It
Now
is
that's
ugly.
crazy.
It is.
That is insane because you cheated on me. You went and got
Hmm.
Kiki and been with Kiki. Y'all booed up and everything 6 months after the fact. You coming to me talking about, hey, I rock with you. I love you. You my wife. I don't want to leave you, but I ain't getting rid of Kiki. So to me, you were already disrespectful by cheating on me if that were the scenario. But now if they went and found Kiki together and the wife thought it was something that was temporary to appease him or please him and let him have it, now look, she's put herself in this situation. Now he wants you and Kiki. He still ain't getting rid of her. You know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That one would just be kind of like a hard pill for me to swallow. And as women, I know that as we get up in age, we don't want to be alone. But are you willing to be unhappy to hold on to him or be unhappy without a man? Which one do you want? Because either way it goes, it seems like you're not going to be happy. So
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
It is a tough one, because I'm not gonna, and I'm not saying I'm just saying just give it a whole lot of thought before you get out here, because it's easy to say, yeah, you know what, you can go somewhere else and be happy, but once you have a hardship out there, a lot of people aren't happy anyway. And a lot of people, after they go through divorce, they are looking for a man, looking for that relationship, and they seem like they are worse off than they were. But
Right.
I'm a God fearing person, and I think that eventually most people will find happiness within. You will be fine, but I'm just saying that sometimes you can jump out the frying pan into the fire and
Right.
find out that it's even more mess out here than it is that he's bringing you. And I mean, and that I'm not saying that that's not mess, and I'm not saying that you have to have low self-esteem to stay in a situation like that. But everybody don't jump out here and just you know give their marriages away that they built for something that might be temporary. But you really need to find out what is the real problem. And you know what, just stay for a minute to see if it's temporary, but I'm saying get your plan of action together, because if you are a whole person, you can really work on yourself, before you leave, and everything else. Make sure your finances right, you right, and you are gonna be fine. Because some people do leave and they're fine, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
women are not. And it's like you looking around like, oh, they should have stayed where they were at, because they end up in even more of a mess. So it's
Right.
just think about it before you make any moves. Because even with the wisdom, he left his wife after 23 years, and the little sugar baby don't even want you at all. You should have stayed your butt at home with your wife. But It is what it is. I'm just saying, don't move first. Get some counseling, see what you can do, and build yourself up before you get out here. Have a game plan, is what I think. Danae, you have anything for this listener or
That's that,
That
that
was
very
that
anything
was
else?
great. That was great advice, but I think we need more of the story because it's a little confusing.
Mm,
And you know when there's confusion, there's the devil. So,
mm,
mm-hmm.
but
That's
you gave
true.
her some good advice. Hopefully, she'll write back in with more of a story, or definitely get some counseling.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's
Yeah.
costing her peace, it's costing too much.
Oh,
amen to that,
that part.
sister.
Peace is a
Amen to
wonderful
that.
thing. It is a wonderful thing.
Hmm. It's
Yeah,
priceless.
but yeah, it is. And if you do have to get a divorce, at the very end or whatever, I just say walk away knowing that you have done everything that you can do. So you can walk away and feel at peace and not look back and say, should I have stayed or whatever. I think we're really emotional, but when you walk away and you know you've done everything you can do, you can walk away at peace. And when you have peace in a situation, then you know you made the right decision. But Danae, you are right. We don't have all the pieces or whatever. I just say don't move too fast. But for our listeners out here, if you have any comments for this listener letter, make sure you put it in the comment section on Facebook, YouTube, all the social media platforms where you will see this content. And ladies and gentlemen out here, we are looking for more listener letters and more topics that we can talk about during the week. So if you have any topics for us or any questions for us, leave your questions at questions@I'mHereForIt.com. And now, Trina, for our main topic, you want to lead us into it?
Absolutely. Let's get this party started. We're going to get our guests involved. Let's hop right on into some health and wellness tips with our yoga expert, Yogi Danae. Friend, can you give our listeners a little background on how you got into the health and wellness space? What prompted you to move into this space?
Well, actually, I started working out um, in 2011. That was the most consistent time anyway. I would work out off and on here and there. But from 2011, I'll say I've been consistent with it. And I tried yoga, but I didn't really like it. It was too slow for me. I liked more of the cardio, jumping around, um, running, you name it. But yoga, it was just so slow. I'm like, no, that's not for me. So fast forward to 2020, the pandemic. It
Yeah.
was a depressing time. A lot of people didn't really know what was going on. They were depressed. We couldn't go outside. We was on lockdown. Well, I started doing 10 minutes of yoga every day, and before work, it felt better. I started promoting it. I started suggesting it to everybody I knew. I'm like, you need to
Sure
do some
did.
yoga. You need to do some yoga.
You
Sharing
did.
And
videos.
sharing videos from YouTube. Yes. And
Hmm.
so from there, um, fast forward to 2022, fall of 2022, I took a prep course. Never thought about being an entrepreneur. I know that was like your thing, Tori's thing. And I'm like, I'm cool with my 9 to 5. I'm a radiation therapist by day. So that the health comes in there. So I go to work,
Yes.
I come home, and I'm good. All my friends would suggest that I would do a class, that I would work out. And I'm like, no, that is not for me. So back in the day, Twyla, she used to call me Little Donna because I was working out consistently. She was like, you need to teach this class, you need to teach that class. I'm like, no. So back to the prep. my friend Precious, she was saying, Danae, go take this class. She said, it's okay if you don't have a business, your husband has one. But after you complete the course, you get $3,000 was funded to you. So it was that time where Stretch Your Soul was birthed. I took a yoga teacher, 200-hour yoga teacher training, March 2023. I was done with that in June of 2023. And July 2023, we was stretching our soul, baby. I had my first class and it's still going strong.
Yes. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
So proud
you.
of you.
Yep. Look at me. No, I don't want to have a business.
I know. Hey,
No, I'm just
your
going to
business,
work. I'm just going to work and I'm
right?
coming home. Leave me alone.
Mhm. Mhm. But you know what you did say at one point you said God will lead me to what I need to do. You started looking at the you started talking about I think I want to start something, and one day you said God will lead me what to whatever it is that he wants me to do. And
And this is
uh
definitely led by God because I know that I am an encourager by
absolutely.
that's my gift, to encourage, to help people feel better, to have them do things to feel better. And I get so much joy out of doing yoga and just hearing the testimonies from the people or just seeing their face after class like I really did need that. So yes, to God be the glory.
Yeah,
To God be the glory. So,
absolutely.
Danae, what role do you see yoga playing in promoting mental health, mental and emotional well-being for women? Well, and men too.
Well, especially I'll focus. I have had a few men that come to the class, but mostly it's women. So I'll focus on women. Um, we as women, we hold a lot in. We are emotional beings. Um, that's just our makeup. So a lot of things that we have been through, we store it. And some of the things that we store are stored in our joints, believe it or not. A lot of trauma is stored in the hips. So it's important for us to take time for ourselves to stretch, even if it's just, like I said, 10 minutes. That will help us so much with relieving stress, relieving anxiety, helping our breathing, helping us sleep better, improve our circulation. The list goes on and on for the benefits for yoga, but that's just a few. Because as women, like I said, we just take everything in. We're worried about the husband if we have one, the boyfriend, the children, the 9 to 5. Yeah, the list goes on.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
have
And,
to
and it's
say,
hard. Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Tori. I'm
Trina.
sorry.
No, I was
You
gonna
know, I was
say, we okay, you can go ahead and say it, Trina. It's okay. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, as women, we really are like I always say, even when you're a stay-at-home mom, you are a domestic engineer, you are a therapist, you're the wife, you're the cook, you clean up, you wear all these different hats. So I can see where that could become stressful, but I didn't realize that we could be carrying trauma in our hips and joints. Because Lord knows
Yes,
my hips are tight right now,
yes,
and
and
I don't feel like my legs move like they used to. So, hmm,
yes, a lot of trauma is stored in the hips. So yoga is definitely beneficial for releasing that trauma. Just it keeps you in the present moment for one. When
Mhm.
you're doing yoga, you're not thinking about what just happened, what's going to happen after. You are focused on the present moment. Yoga keeps you present. So that's time that you can I don't know. There's a word I'm trying to it'll come to me. So that's time that you can just
Prioritize.
Yes, help me, Lord. You can just you can connect with self through self with yoga.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
You're not worrying about everything that's what's going on. It's just that present moment.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And as Tori just mentioned, Danae, we wear so many hats as women, especially the women that stay home and care for the house and the kids and everything. What would you suggest they could do to prioritize self-care and mindfulness in a person's schedule that has a busy life? Even like with you, with becoming an entrepreneur, how were you able to prioritize your 9 to 5 and diving into this new lane, plus still taking care of your husband and fitting additional time in for yourself for self-care? How did that all play out?
Okay, so as far as prioritizing self-care and mindfulness, I was already doing that prior to becoming a yoga instructor. I already knew the importance of taking time out for myself. So it wasn't as hard. It wasn't a problem. But for other women that may not have that time, I would say to start out with at least 10 minutes a day and to listen to your body. You don't want to feel any pain. You just want to feel sensation. And I would say listen to your body and give yourself grace.
Mm, that's good
That's some good
stuff.
advice. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. There's so many different styles of yoga, and you just have to find one that works for you. My yoga of choice is the vinyasa yoga. I like the vinyasa, but there's hot yoga, there's power yoga, there's restorative yoga, there's yin yoga. The list goes on and on.
And what did you just refer to your favorite yoga? What?
Vinyasa
What?
yoga, that's my favorite. That's where you connect the breath with the movement.
Okay.
Okay. Speaking of which, is in vinyasa, is meditating also included in that whole process, or is that like a separate?
That's separate, but at the end
Okay.
of the vinyasa flow, there's a moment of meditation. It's called the shavasana, and that's at the end of class. So that's meditation as well. But then there's
Mhm.
meditation separate from that, where there's no movement and maybe sound, maybe not sound. It just depends. And then also to add, you can also listen to the, frequency music at night to help you relax, to help you sleep, and just clear your mind as well.
Is there a certain frequency that we should be listening to? Because I know there's different frequencies. Like I've heard the 4, the 9, and different ones. I didn't know if that was a real thing. I heard it from social media. So is there a frequency
The,
that you know of that's really good for rest?
no, I don't know of one right offhand, but I go to a natural doctor, and she suggested that I listen to meditation music at night to help me sleep. But
Hmm.
I'm not. I can't recall the frequency.
Okay.
Yeah, and I noticed that like with me when with doing yoga, and thanks for all of your videos that you shared, and even when we were just together last month, you did some yoga practices with us that I still utilize right before I go to sleep. I try to be mindful of those 3 breaths that you're taking. I do simple stretches like the child's pose is my favorite because I feel like that stretches out everything, my back, my hips, my legs, everything. I feel good if I just do that for maybe like 5 minutes and do my little breathing. That helps me to feel better. So thank you for sharing those tips and tricks with us. Um, do you have any other recommendations that maybe our listeners can maybe go on YouTube and kind of, I guess they could probably just Google different forms of meditation or um, look at different videos themselves? Would you suggest doing that?
Yes. Yes. Do you
Yeah.
have any tips and techniques for the women?
As far as tips and techniques, it would just be, like I said before, to listen to your body and start out slow. Definitely, you can go on YouTube and Google beginners yoga
Mm-hmm.
and start there.
Okay.
There's so many videos out on YouTube.
There are.
I call it YouTube University.
It is YouTube University. Danae, I know you sent us a 10-minute video of one of your favorites in the past. Is there any way you can share that link with us so that we can put that link in the chat for our listeners out there? So we can have that, by the end of the taping, we can let our listeners know that they can go out on a I don't know, to a certain channel on YouTube to listen to, or do you know of a certain person that you would recommend?
I would recommend. I won't be able to share it
Okay,
due
that's
to
fine.
technical difficulties, but I would
That's okay.
recommend yoga with Cassandra. That's
Hmm.
Kassandra. She has a lot of beginner videos, short videos, 5 to 10 minutes, and then longer if that's your choice. And she's been doing it over 7 years.
Yeah. That's what you
Okay.
shared with me. And when I started
Mm-hmm.
to get into it, she really helped me a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a great suggestion.
And it
And
really it helps from head to toe. Like if you have a headache, you can do yoga for it. If you have
Okay.
gas or bloating, you can do yoga for it. Like yoga is the twist and the forward folds are all good for bloating and digestion.
That's good to know
yeah,
because
and we
Lord
did some of
knows.
those with you last month. Yeah. And I
Hmm.
still
Yes.
utilize those. They help for sure.
I
So
have to say I
we
did. Go ahead. No, I was going to say I
can
did
we
fall off a little bit, but I was thinking that, you know what, it always stays in my mind to just work on 10 minutes of something. So I try to maybe walk for 10 minutes now or hula hoop for 10 minutes now because I always thought that you had to do 30 minutes, 45 minutes to be healthy. But when you share that we could do something for 10 minutes and still, be making our health a priority, that's really something that's a blessing to know. Katrina, what were you saying?
No, I was going to ask Danae in the future because I know that she does all of her classes, her in-person classes, but because you are such a great yogi, are you thinking of elevating Stretch Your Soul to maybe having a virtual option so that we can join in on some of your classes, or maybe our listeners can join in, introduce you to the world? So, opposed to referring them to yoga for Cassandra, we can be referring them to yogi for Danae or yoga from Danae kind of thing. Is that something you're looking to get into
Oh,
soon?
most definitely. But y'all know I'm that friend. But that's why every Sunday I'm binding procrastination because that should have already happened. Especially, I want to say I said March. So coming soon, we
Okay.
will be able to have yoga via Zoom, and then from there, I hope guys will I'll be on YouTube doing yoga.
Yes,
Absolutely.
congratulations. We will stay on
Absolutely.
you to do that.
And
Yeah.
we will be sharing all links, all contact information so that our listeners will be logging in as well to support you because what you're doing is awesome. Not only for your community, but it could be a virtual thing so you can help women across the globe with taking care of themselves because it's hard for us to prioritize that. But once you find and connect a person that's easy to work with, like yourself, it'll be like, perfect sense. It'll make sense to everybody for them to join your classes. So we're excited about you getting that virtual option so that we can get our yoga on with you too.
Yes, I can't wait. I
Absolutely.
don't know why I put stuff off, but like my timing is different from God's, which we all know. And Tori here, she'll come with that. You got to do your 1%. But even when it's down the road and it still happens, I say this must be God's timing.
It
So
is.
yeah, stay on me, and we'll be hooking up via Zoom, and then from Zoom we'll be hooking up on YouTube.
YouTube,
Yeah.
baby.
Yes. Perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Danae, so much for joining us today. And before we let you go, was there anything that you wanted to say or share? Or if not, please make sure that you share all of your social medias or let our listeners know how they can reach out to you if maybe they have some yoga questions, or who knows, maybe they'll be joining you via Zoom soon as well.
Okay, you can reach me either Facebook or Instagram. My name is Brigina Danae, or you can reach me on Facebook at Stretch Yo Soul. And that's pretty much it.
All
Okay.
right.
And we'll make
Well, we
sure to
will
drop
put
your
your
socials in the video as well.
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you,
We will
ladies.
make sure that our listeners have that. And I just want to say thank you for joining us for yet another episode of I'm Here for the podcast. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the major channels out there. And I just want to let you know something exciting. You can, if you are a podcast listener, you can find us on all your streaming platforms out there. So, as you're driving into work, make sure you are listening to I'm Here for the podcast, and make sure you like and share. If you're not into podcasting, please share our content with others that may be interested in podcasting. We are trying to grow our sisterhood and keep people as in the know, as Trina would say. Each week we will be bringing you engaging topics every week. And, we are highly addictive and we are always unscripted. So until next time, keep coming back for more. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. Have a good one. Thank
All
you.
right. Good night.
Segment is sponsored by Tori Styles LLC, your source for inspirational based products. Explore prayer books, journals, coffee mugs, stylish t shirts, and customizable items for the small business owner. Visit www.toristyles.com.